My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we're talking about Age of Empires 2, which is a real-time strategy game developed by Ensemble Studios and published by Microsoft for the PC in 1999.
Yeah. And this is our premium episode for this month, which means that everybody's getting the generalities, and then some of the nitty and the gritty is in the back half. And this episode was executive produced by Abe. Thank you, Abe. Abe, whenever we're doing a weird old PC game, a lot of times it's Abe.
Yeah.
And I love it. This is, they're not all my favorites. Like we did like Lords of Magic, which I liked. Okay. I like this game a lot. This is I'm bad at it.
Oh yeah. No,
it's going to be kind of a weird episode a little bit for us, but this is, this is a really good video game. Like I could retire into this game.
Even just like from a value standpoint, there's so much here. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. That's even before you get like the new expansions that they made 20 years after the original release.
It's so generous.
Yeah.
It is a very generous, classic RTS.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And, cool shit. So, thank you, Abe.
Yeah, I think I like this a little bit less than you. That's probably just because in understanding my strategiotype, I am more of a like economy and like city builder kind of person, more into like Anno, something like that, right? But I admire the hell out of this, and I fell into a hole with this, not just because I was anxious about having it on my plate, and I wanted to, get it in early. Yeah.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Dungeon Train.
Yeah. Well, no, but I was anxious to get this, to get it taken care of, right? Because I was worried about not playing enough of it. So I played it a long time ago, but like I lost like a whole week to it basically because of just how well tuned everything is. Like this is an incredibly good RTS.
It's a great machine.
Yeah. And it wasn't one that I played. Like of this series, I was more of an Age of Mythologies person, just because of the spectacle of that. Like, oh, I can train up a little army of Gorgons, right? That's cool. Yeah.
I was not, but immediately bought Age of Mythology.
Oh yeah,
Steam after this being like, because that's more theming. That's for me.
Yeah.
It's worth talking about. So this is going to be, we are dilettantes in this, at best. Like neither of us are big RTS guys, right? And this is like Counter-Strike or something. This is a game that people dedicate their lives to. It's worth talking about our background a little bit with this shit, because I have always liked RTS games. I have never been good at them.
No.
I never play them online against strangers. I've played against friends, but I tend to play like trashy ones and play this a similar way each time. A very defensive, very slowpoke strategy that is nonetheless fun for me, but is bad. So like we're going to talk about certain parts of these campaigns being hard, things like that. I want to get that out there, is that like, they're probably not. If you know how to play this game, there's a steep learning curve for this. And I had not played this before either. I was a Blizzard RTS guy and then a Command and Conquer guy.
Yeah, I was Blizzard, but then Command and Conquer Generals, the one everybody hated.
Is that the FPS one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Generals is it was like their Warcraft 3 kind of thing.
Oh,
it was
gotcha.
like
Their
it
hero
was
unit?
like it was like modern day, like not fantastical Tesla coil stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was like the West versus Chinese versus like broadly like Arabic kind of thing. Regardless, I
Command and
got
Conquer games
those.
are cool.
Yeah, I got
like
I
that
got
shit.
those and I played those because I had friends who played them and it was like a bonding thing, right? It
Yeah.
was just something fun to do.
Yeah. It's so neither of us had experience with this specifically. This
Right.
type. I think the closest thing I played to this was Rise of Nations.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, you control different armies, kind of from medieval times, the various ages. So, Dark Ages through colonial kind of age, through feudal age and castle age, sending them into battle, building your economy, maintaining your defenses, doing the 4 X's
Right.
that they talk about.
I mean, I'm gonna jump in here and say this is not a 4X game.
No, but you have to. You can do the things. You can expand, exploit, extinguish, and exsanguinate. Whatever the X's are.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I was thinking of 4X stuff as in relation to this is that I'm real bad at a couple of the X's, and that's where I kept losing. I will never fucking expand. There's a forward goalpost. You can have it. That's none of my business. I'm over here in my little zone.
Yeah, I'm not going to reach for that. I'm going to overbalance and tip, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm over here building my murder ball.
Yeah, would you pass the gold? Like it's a real would you pass the gold please situation.
What I don't want to do is miscategorize this and say these guys misunderstood it so much they think it's like Civ.
Yeah, I don't want to get yelled at. I played more Civ as well than this, so
yeah. So we are most specifically talking about the most recently released version of this game. It is the one that you can buy most readily. It goes on sale an awful lot. I think it's on Game Pass for PC. This is the definitive edition. This was released in 2019. It incorporates a whole bunch of like the old content, but also makes some updates.
Yes.
And being that I didn't play the original, I was mostly just exposed to it by other people playing it around me and talking about it. If we say something about like the population cap that doesn't comport with the original, it just we have no way of knowing that. Yeah.
Even more than that, there are thousands of variations on this game.
Yeah,
as is. I did the thing with this that I did when we did Roller Coaster Tycoon as well, where I try on being a YouTube fan. Of this stuff during the time in which we're preparing. So I've gotten into a couple of YouTubers to talk about this stuff, and we're not going to cover like 15% of this shit.
No,
this is so complicated. Like we're not talking about quick walling and like your ELO score and all of this stuff that is very esoteric and jargony.
Yeah.
So you just know what you're getting into. This is a layman's approach to this. But real quick shout out to Hera and Spirit of the Law. 2 YouTubers who are great.
I think Spirit of the Law was the one that I watched. I also kind of jumped into that just because there's so much that is not explained well.
Yes.
Down to like unit counters, right?
Yeah. And he does a great job of that. And there's also little documentaries that compare the different campaigns with historical accuracy.
I love that.
We'll get into that more later, but like those are real fun to watch. Great YouTuber.
Yeah.
So we're standing on the shoulders of giants at the very, we're asking for uppies from giants and not getting them. And we're accurate.
There is a whole content ecosystem, of which this is going to be the most basic primer.
Yeah. We don't know shit.
Yeah.
So this has story-based campaigns for the single player, and a skirmish mode and a multiplayer mode. Which has you both starting from 0. There are a couple of different variations of that as well. You don't have to start out from 0, but just different kind of matches that are like instanced battles between these armies, and then you can go through a story as well. Many stories.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about the generalities, mechanics, unit counters, things like that here in the first part. The second part is going to be a book report on the campaigns that we decided to play after talking about the very scant and I would say insufficient tutorial campaign.
Yeah, the tutorial teaches you the very, 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 very basics. So that's also where we'll put some of like our skirmish experience. As well. I ended up playing way more skirmishes than I thought I would. I find that to be a lot more fun. Than the campaigns personally.
I didn't get as many skirmishes as I wanted. So
it's they're fun. They're consistently really fun.
Yeah.
Just know, most civilizations have most of the same units and mechanics in this. So each civilization will have unique things and maybe be missing some things to it. But most of what we say will apply to everyone.
Yes.
They each have their exclusive units. Sometimes they will be missing units or full classes of units. The Mesoamericans don't have cavalry unless you get them as part of the story, things like that. There are minor variations in this where it is balanced like a fighting game.
Yes.
So, imagine us, we cannot keep up with 30 civilizations.
It's so many.
Yes. It does. This is, how Baldur's Gate lets you say the incredibly horrible phrase race tier list.
Yes.
This allows you to say civilization tier list.
Uh-oh.
Which is also a horrible thing to say, but it pops up a lot in looking at stuff in this game.
Yeah.
Because they are just fighting game characters in this.
Yeah. The fact that so much is shared between these different civilizations in the game, and the fact that so much looks basically exactly the same is a little bit deceptive, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of, kind of like lulling you into thinking that they are more similar than they actually are. Pretty much everything that happens in this game happens on the margin. Right.
It's a thing where you know how to read it. I think that makes bigger differences.
Yes.
Than, like people who are playing this at a high level, it's not marginal to them because they're reading it, but we are blunt instruments and we're playing at the blunt instrument difficulty level.
Yes.
Where it's all marginal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So every game, you begin with the town center and you make your worker units. You have these little villagers. They can be assigned to harvest resources and to build things. I like how their little title changes depending on what you have them doing, and their little outfit changes too.
And they say stuff too. If you do the Britons, who speak English, they go like chopper, hunter. Farmer. Like they do a cute little bark.
I spent a lot of time playing as the Spanish in this because it's a little bit easy mode. And just every time you click on one of them, they go, see.
Yes, see. It's very cute. One of the joys of RTS games.
Yes.
So there are four. Yeah, see. There are 4 resources they're gathering. These are relatively intuitive. Wood you get from trees. Food you get from many sources. We'll talk about gold you get from gold lying on the ground, and stone you get from stone lying on the ground.
Yes. Yeah. And these are limited. You start out around deposits of these, and this is one of the major axes on which different maps and even different campaigns can work. Like, how much of a given thing are you near? How much space is there for a base around this?
Yes.
And, what are you trying to do changes the priority of these, right?
Yes.
You only have so many trees around you. There's only so much ore before it runs out. Only so many quarries that you can set up before you need to start expanding, going to look for something else.
Yes.
You need to make sure that all of this keeps flooding in, at least until you can get a market and a trade economy set up.
Yeah, and even a trade economy will sometimes not
be insufficient.
Yeah, for you. Food is relatively limitless. You can build farms. Those require wood to create, and you need to rotate them out. So they're only good for so long. But there's also livestock and game. You can make your villagers hunters, gatherers, or shepherds.
Yeah.
So there's different kinds of classes of animal. There are livestock animals, which they will shepherd back to their base to slaughter. There are wild animals. Little pro tip: they will hunt them and harvest them from where they're at.
Yeah.
But if you shoot them and then lead them back to your base, it makes the trip shorter.
Yeah.
And then they can gather berries.
Yes.
There are gigantic berry bushes that last the in-game equivalent of hundreds of years, like the lemon tree, and you can, or like the boar that lasted many generations of this village.
Yeah.
For them to harvest. So there's lots of different ways to do food, and they roughly corresponded to the different ages.
Yeah.
You're not going to be building farms right out the gate. You're going to be gathering or hunting or shepherding.
Yeah. If you're in the Dark Ages, there isn't much use for stone, so it does not make sense to allocate a villager to quarry that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You kind of go through these 4 phases.
Yes.
As you play.
Yeah. You don't really need gold if you're not building up your military. That's primarily for that kind of unit, right?
Yes.
All of your units and your villagers are defined by your population limit. This is we require more Vespine gas kind of thing. No, it's not that. We require more pylons.
We require more pylons, and there is a global limit.
Yes.
for the thing. So you'll have like maybe a maximum of 100, but then within that, the maximum is how many houses you've built.
Yeah.
Houses are cheap, but you have to build them. Again, these little pro tips that I just picked up from playing and watching people play, I'm going to pepper throughout these. Use them as walls. They're really good walls. Surround your you have to be a real ruthless despot. Surround your seat of power with where the poor people live. It fucking sucks, but it works.
Yeah. It doesn't require a lot of stone like walls do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have your workers, you need to be constantly keeping them at peak efficiency. You want to be making new workers basically all the time and keeping them working. There's an idle villagers button, which you can click on whenever somebody starts slacking off, if they have time to lean. Again, I love the time thing in this game. If a villager is idle for a few seconds, that's the equivalent of them taking like a year off. Just feel like I was farming and then I lost track of time.
I have my gap second.
I just traveled Europe for a second before I was told to build palisades.
But yeah, thinking about villagers as an investment, like one needs to be gathering food for like 12 minutes or something like that in order to pay for itself. And if you're not recouping that, you are not using that potential to then expand and use that to support a military. Right. So
it's not quite that harsh. It's something like, like that. It's not 12 minutes, but it's, it's a number. Like there's a math involved. Again, I just don't want anyone to come at you for that, because that would be really difficult if it was 12 minutes for each villager.
It was a YouTube video that I watched a month ago that told me that.
It doesn't feel right to me, but I don't know that that's necessarily true, because you can build a lot faster than that.
So the biggest determinant of your success is going to be standing up that economy early. Going really fast. And there are like specific build order guides that you can go and find, which is like, okay, you have to have like 2 villagers on these berries, 1 bringing in a boar. That way you can build a house with the hunter on the boar in the time that it takes for the berry ones to go over and harvest the boar. Like it's down to that, it's where you see like, videos and GIFs of somebody like misclicking in making their first villagers and then retiring from the game because they fucked it up.
This is very APM.
Yes.
Motivated at a high level. Don't feel intimidated. You don't actually have to do that. Looking at build orders is useful. Just to know generally what you should be doing, but I will not restart a game because I misclicked. If
you start a game and you see gold there, I want to go get the gold. I want the gold. The stone seems pretty good. It's right there. It's for the taking. It's like, no, like there's an order that this needs to go.
And for me, just I kept thinking of my natural impulse, which I had to slaughter, is to just set things on autopilot. So being like, here's some stone. I just want a steady source of stone coming in. Let's get a few villagers and everything, and then just hang out and let everything be balanced. Wrong.
Nope.
On standard, you can still do okay that way. And you won't necessarily die, but an early attack will fuck you.
You need to be really micromanagey with this. You need to, flex and fold as the situation demands. And that is pretty much at every level up to and including, like, you kind of need to be constantly attacking, right?
You can be. There's like different strategies you can use in this, like reading about the different kind of gambits you can kind of do. With this, like almost in a chess way, like that's one strategy. Another one is to like boom and just defend and get your economy quick, so your units will just outperform by the time you do attack. Or you can do like raiding things. Like these are all useful strategies that different civilizations are better suited for, and different openings are better suited for in a way.
I give that example of like, you always need to be attacking, because that is specifically the opposite of what I tend to do. My
I play defensively as well.
Given my druthers is I only attack if I know that I can overwhelm them with one go.
Same. I tend to nest. One of the campaigns I did was really good about breaking you out of that. And that's still a weakness of mine. It goes against my natural inclinations, but I got slightly better at that as we went. A more accurate way, I think, to say it, rather than you always have to be attacking, is you always have to be doing something.
Yes.
With that, like you're always managing and clicking. Like you don't sit back for very much in this game. Not to be confused with the proper noun verb microing, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
That is different.
Mm-hmm.
This town center that you have, this is how you advance through the different ages. Start in the Dark Ages, then go to Feudal, Castle, and Empire. These give you access to different tech tree levels.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the Dark Ages, and initially there are very few things you can build. Like you can't build ranged units, for example. You have to get up to the Feudal Age. To get up to these cost resources.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do this
bill.
quickly.
Yeah,
big bill, absolutely big bill. This is the main thing you're keeping your eye on the prize for initially to get those early build up. You want to get specifically to Feudal Age as quick as possible.
Yeah,
you suck in the Dark Age.
Yeah, and you don't want to spend a lot of time in the Feudal Age either. Like Castle is where you end up actually getting, some the effective units. Right,
your unique unit comes in then. Usually, like you'll still have your unique civilization bonuses before that, but your unique unit can be trained at the castle. Castles themselves rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep up with this in addition to kind of managing, getting an economy going and defending yourself and possibly doing raids. You're constantly watching this big upgrade that you need to save up for.
Yes. Yeah. So villagers will build everything, but you can, pretty soon you want to build your military training buildings, which produce your army units, but also upgrades them. This is where you can research the later entries in the different what are called lines, right? So like infantry. Like swordsmen are lines, spearmen are that's a different line, right? This is how you kind of go deeper in those.
So a line wouldn't mean, if you think like an infantry line, you think of a line of soldiers standing together. This means more like guy with a club, and then you upgrade him to a guy with a long sword. Then you upgrade him to a guy with a two-handed sword.
Yes.
That the line of that like Charizard is a line, not a line of Charizards.
Going from like militia to man at arms, to champion, right?
Yeah. There are 4 categories of these: infantry, ranged. There are a couple different kinds of ranged. There are cavalry in here, and then siege as well.
Yes.
For this. And different units are counters to other units, hard counters, which means that when you're attacking, you will build units to these strategies that you've chosen, also to counter specific other strategies in this. I want to point out, I never got good at this, and I mostly just made a big balanced team.
Yeah.
Give me a mixed grill. Give me a little bit of everybody.
Not what you're supposed to do, because like you can be effective at that. Like you can, overwhelm them with numbers, but any given encounter is going to involve a trade. Right.
Yes.
It's called trading. I send 10 of my guys against 10 of your guys. And
who comes out, who loses more resources.
Yeah. Who loses more resources. I might wipe you out, but there's a huge difference, if I have 7 units left over after this versus if I have 2, right?
Yes.
7 can go on and do something. 2 is basically nothing. You're fucked. Right.
Yeah.
And picking the right army composition and sending the right kind of unit at the right kind of unit, make sure that you are more likely to come out on the better side of that trade.
Yes, on top of a couple other things.
Yes,
but yeah, this is this micromanagement here, very important. And again, I've never got good at it. I tried. It's too hard to read very quickly.
Yes,
these little guys on the computer. I love games where you just move around little dudes. On a computer, like that's my favorite type of video game. These are very small. At an absolute glance, telling a spearman from a skirmisher was difficult. For me enough to make these decisions.
Yes.
But basically, by building, we got a barracks. That's where you get your infantry. There's the militia line. So these are your basic melee units. These counter skirmishes and they counter siege units.
Yes. Every single one of these things has an exception. It is maddening to talk about it in a general way.
Yes. They have a huge stat block. Complicated game.
Your spearmen, these will counter mounted units, the knights, right?
It also introduces a subtype, which is the trash unit. So your militia requires some gold. to make. There's a subset of all of these units that are called trash, and trash means they just take food and wood because those are the easiest things to get. So different civilizations have better like trash tiers. Video games are fucking maddening. It's incredible. This is a quarter century years old, and it feels like we're describing like how to become a Go master from the beginning. You know, like I understand. So your trash units, that's also a thing to consider because you can pump them out really quickly and really cheaply.
If you just need bodies, to put it in Blizzard terms, Zerglings, right?
Yes. Every civilization has some Zergs. So these spearmen, these counter knights, and they're trash. A non-pejorative,
right?
Surprisingly,
Archery. Different civilizations will lean on this one quite heavily. The English specifically, but there are others. Range units. This is important because ranged units generally have a minimum range at which they're functional, right? Specifically archers. These will counter the militia line, just super effective at taking out anything that's on foot, except for the skirmishers, which are little guys who throw javelins. And these counter the archer line. Skirmishers are super easy to neglect. I would just be like, why are these archers tearing through me? It's because you didn't consider skirmishers, you dummy.
Yeah. They're, and these are trash. Like a lot of the trash things are built to counter the non-trash.
Yes.
Some civilizations get hand cannoneers as well. These are like better archers that use gunpowder. They're way higher up the tech tree. Do more damage. There are civilizations that specialize in this. I didn't end up playing civilizations that use these. I mean, if I did, it was like in one skirmish or something. I barely used gunpowder. In my games
because I played Spain a lot. Like their conquistador unit, it's a mounted hand cannoner. Ended up using a ton of gunpowder.
They're a gunpowder civilization. Gunpowder and monks, I want to say, is their two things.
It's
your stable,
kind of everything.
Your stable trains your mounted units. This is where you get scouts. They cover ground really fast. They're bad for combat, but they're necessary. You have to have a scout. The nightline, nightline, it's still on. It counters archers. These things also just very good for Russia's strong unit in general. And then mounted archers. Which are great for hit and run attacks. These are fast archers.
And then finally we have these the siege workshop, which is where you build the stuff that is going to be especially good against buildings. Most of the units that we talked about before are not going to be effective at all in trying to take down a stone wall.
Arson.
Yeah.
Which I love researching arson. We invented arson. It took us 300 years.
I just love putting on a lab coat and then just like pouring a liquid in between two test tubes, occasionally writing down a note.
and then just like panning out from the equation, there's a little house on fire. Just like eureka. But generally, yes. There are exceptions to all of this. Which makes this whole thing maddening. Generally, when you're ready for your big push, your mighty push, is when you want to start building siege shit.
Yes.
From my experience.
And one of the most effective units in the game to me is the lowly battering ram. Once you figure out that when they're empty, they die really quickly, but you load militia into them. You load in your militia line. It makes them more durable, and you can break through walls, tear down buildings and stuff. And even when it dies, you got a dude pinata. They can start going around and taking out whatever took them out. They're great.
There's also a weird advanced strategy where you leave an unloaded one and you send them in with your militia because if they're in front, archers are trained to attack them first and they take almost no damage from arrows. So they will act as a lightning rod. For archer lines. There's something called the mangonel there. These are catapults. Range against buildings. They're not as good as trebuchets, which come later. Which I tended to use more. The scorpion. This is for hitting enemy infantry and cavalry. So the minimum range is a problem, but they do a lot of damage. If you can get these things protected, they can put holes in enemy ranks.
That is the big deal because they're super fragile, even when they're upgraded. I never got good at using scorpions.
The bombard cannon. This is another gunpowder thing. So long range, AoE hits, very similar to a scorpion in use case.
Super tough to micromanage because if you leave them unattended and don't use the no attack stance on them, we'll talk about stances later, then you will just get a little message that says, you are attacking yourself. You are attacking yourself.
Stop attacking yourself.
Yeah. Same thing with the trebuchet, which functions a little bit like a StarCraft siege tank that does not have a non like mounted long range version. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then the siege tower, which I never used. This is a little troop carrier that will get you over walls. I think it's cool from a flavor perspective. But if I was going to do this, I would take down the wall.
Like in all of these lines, we have the specific, the civilization specific ones. So, like if you're wondering, why didn't you talk about war elephants? Why didn't you talk about camel riders and stuff like that? I probably didn't use it because I didn't use a civilization that had that.
Because there's like 30 to 40 civilizations in this game. Like you'd need a whole podcast to an entire new like IP to cover this, and I'm sure such thing exists. If not, it's on YouTube. Castles are a unique type of building. This is my favorite building. It is a defensive building, so it has tons of hit points. It shoots like a turret, but you can also train up your civilization's unique units, as well as trebuchets. We mentioned those. Trebuchets are great. This is also where you can start doing degenerate sneaky shit, like sneaking in through somebody's backline by deforesting. I love that. I've loved that strategy since Warcraft. Doing that in the 90s, figuring that out on my uncle's computer and feeling like a genius. Like, oh shit, this can destroy trees. I'm going in the back, baby.
You thought the wilds would protect you.
Yeah, the wilds are on my side. This is how you can do shit like that. And trebuchet guarded by a group of melee units is devastating. The range is incredible. You put them just out of range and you just pepper someone's buildings and they go down quickly with this thing.
The trade-off is if they take time to pack and unpack. Like to move, it needs to transform into its mobile form. And when it when it is in attack form, there's no way to get it out of harm's way if harm comes a knocking.
They're also really slow. If harm comes a knocking, anyone can take it out. Like a peasant can kill it. You just have to make sure they're really well guarded.
Yes.
You command your troops by putting them into these little groups and send them out. You issue move and attack commands, and then various kind of extra commands. So you can move, you can guard, assign them to guard a specific unit or building, follow a specific unit, attack move, which means you move, and if you see anything, you attack. If you hear music, you're going to dance, and then patrol to move back and forth between two places. And then they're given a stance that interfaces with this, which is really cool. Like understanding this was an unlock for me. These are things like aggressive. They'll chase enemies down. Defensive, like they'll attack and they'll chase within a certain distance, but then have a tether. Stand their ground, things like that. You have to use these.
Otherwise they get scattered to the winds by literally anything. Like an enemy scout will come by and suddenly half your militia are all the way across the map.
Like doing a wild goose chase. This is also how you avoid friendly fire from like trebuchets and stuff. Keep your archers back. They don't need to move up where that's going on.
And that's on top of formations, which were a little bit of an unlock for me. Spreading out or like doing a box formation to protect more vulnerable units on the inside. Understanding like how switching from one stance to another automatically moves units in particular patterns to say avoid archers to avoid ranged. Ranged bolts and things like that. Super important, and is one of the ways you can get on the better side of a trade is understanding how these interact with the lag time on ranged units. Because this is a real-time game, you can dodge and stuff. Doing that is part of a larger sub-strategy or sub-mechanic of this, which is called microing or micromanaging. This is when you are not having your characters on autopilot, you're putting them in different hotkey groups based on what you need them to do. And then knowing what you send them against, and moving around down to the degree of dodging arrows. Yes.
If you are fighting an enemy archer and you are micromanaging your archer, even if they're evenly statted, you will win if you are micromanaging your archer.
Yeah.
Because you just move them out of the way manually. You're doing this with an RTS control scheme, which means indirect control. You're clicking the unit, moving it somewhere else. This is very awkward.
Yes.
I never got good at this. This is necessary to high level and competitive play.
Yeah.
At this, and I am dog shit at it. I did it a few times, when it occurred to me and everything, but a lot of times I just was sitting back and was like, this is none of my, they're taking care of it. And like, oh shit, no, I'm their god. And would come back and start fucking with them again. But it's very easy to like sit back because a lot of things are automated.
Yes.
Yeah.
My strategy for this was to have hotkey groups for just broadly different kinds of units, primarily because they move at different speeds, just so like, here's my siege button, here's my cavalry button, here's my archer button, here's my militia button. And then just basically playing with my hands on the number keys as a home row as I was advancing and making sure that I was, just like constantly adjusting, each one of their little waypoints for where they should go. Right. Yeah. That was broadly how it broke down.
Yeah. People can be very good at this.
Yes.
It is fun to watch somebody be excellent at this. This is also a thing. The main way in which I use this, which I don't know where else to put this in the mechanics, but I thought it ended up making a really big difference. This was an unlock for me, is that you get a huge bonus if you're uphill. Like real battles, you want to hold the hill.
Yep.
If you just send your enemies in normally, they won't necessarily do that.
Yeah.
So having, putting your characters, putting them defensive or stand ground at the top of a hill, here, and make, archers, for example.
Yes.
Huge difference. They take, I think, 25% less damage and do 25% more.
Huge swing.
Yeah. Big swing. Really, really good. There are sea battles in this and an entire sea economy. Not every map has it. And not every civilization is good at it, but you can build docks. You build a docks. It makes all kinds of stuff. You make fishing boats, trade boats, transports, battleships for this, and you upgrade those as well.
It's a very versatile building. The docks, you want to have a few of them. Yeah.
And if you start out next to the sea, that is a big blessing. Fishing is really great for food.
Yeah.
It's real hands off and easy.
I kind of wanted to poke around because there are like Viking campaigns, like the Viking or the Norse civilization apparently just like utterly specializes in this, which seems fun, but also seems kind of like a different game.
Yeah, it would be, and the fact that these all work together is really interesting.
Yes,
to me, like they are not, you don't just play as the civilization when you're doing a water campaign.
Right. Yeah. Base building is its own concern. Not as much as I would like, but it's here. You've got your buildings and you have the necessary components of your economy, right? Your workers who are making their little runs. You want to protect those. So you have access to walls and guard towers in addition to, the castle, which is its own like wide kind of turret kind of thing. You want to build around choke points. You want to set up gates so you can get in and out. You want to make sure that you don't just have guard towers, but you have them manned with archers. Putting archers in them will make them more effective. They get more shots. They shoot more frequently. Things like that.
Yeah. And similar to any RTS, your villagers can repair these. So having a repair villager on hand or available for this thing is very useful. I did a lot of this, a lot of tower based builds. You can build walls out of wood initially, then eventually you can build them out of stone. And there is an entire upgrade line for these as well. You can eventually make these very strong.
Yes. Yeah. So as you advance your ages, you access the buildings where you study the those upgrades. We talked about like upgrading your walls. You do that at the university. You learn how to use stone good. Earlier, you can build the blacksmith, which is where you can upgrade the attack and defense of your military units.
Yes. Very, very useful. And each civilization has different access to different ones in this, of course. There is a marketplace you can make. This allows you to create caravans that will trade with other markets. They can trade with the enemy markets who will not necessarily attack them. Trade is good for everyone. It's much easier if you have an ally
Yeah.
in the map. And then at the market, you can affect some economical. There's some economics technologies to do with tributes, which are a multiplier mechanic, which we can talk about. And then you can buy things on the marketplace.
Yeah.
This creates a little economy that is based on a very, freshman 101 economics level understanding of supply and demand. So yes, if you are in an area where you have tons of wood and gold, but you cannot buy enough stone, yes, you can just buy the stone you need. At some point you will start getting, 9 stone for every 100 gold.
Yeah.
It will be a really, really unfavorable trade.
The returns are diminishing. Yeah.
Yep. So it is a thing to get you over an individual hump, to get you onto one of those age thresholds, or to make quick cash in an emergency.
Yes.
Generally.
Yeah. It's just if you have a particular glut, like, oh, I'm never going to use 12,000 wood. Yeah.
Yes. And you should never have, that's another habit that I'm horrible at is hoarding. And you don't want to be doing that anyway. I had these moments where I realized, like, why do I have like 12,000 wood and 100 gold? What happened? Like, everything, the way that this game works is so interesting because you passively gain everything. And when you need it, it feels like you're getting it incredibly slowly. And as soon as you put your attention somewhere else for like 5 minutes, hundreds of years have passed in this lumberjack family. Like 7 generations of lumberjack have come and gone and just piled wood at your doorstep. Without you even thinking about it for a second. This is how Dracula feels about everything. Like, it's kind of an immortality simulator. It's real weird.
Yeah.
But generally you don't need to keep a surplus.
Right.
That is bad play. Just pump out some trash at that point.
Final aspect to play here, not final, but the last one I have listed, but it's pretty major, is the monastery and monk play.
Yes.
You build your monastery, which is primarily for training up and improving monks, which are very specialized, very technical units.
They're the closest this has to a mage unit in this, and they do magecraft. They can heal units like monks can't do.
Yes.
It's worth noting earlier we talked about garrisoning enemies, putting things that will also heal units.
Yes.
The main offensive thing, monks have a little mana meter called Faith. They use this to heal units, and then they use them to try to convert enemy units or buildings.
Yes.
This takes a moment, but they usually on 101 or one-on-one, they can do it, right? Like if a knight is charging down a single monk, the monk will usually convert the knight. That's pretty cool. Requires a high level of micro. To be managing them on top of an army. They have a whole tech tree for this that makes them more effective. You can start researching being able to convert buildings, which is really cool. You can convert a building in the middle of a fight, and then make your characters. There's a hearsay, which is really good, which makes your characters kill themselves if they get converted.
It seems a little,
it's a little extreme, but better for my army. You have to be a real unfeeling jerk in a strategy game.
Yep.
And then they have relics. This is a huge part of, one of the campaigns I did was the Aztec campaign. Relics are huge. They're a monk civilization. They get a bonus. You have to grab these. Only monks can carry them. And then you go and you garrison them at your monastery, and you get a passive source of gold income. The idea people come to look at it and make donations.
Yeah. And a whole pentiment happens around it.
Yes. That you don't get to see. Thousands of pentiments. You look away for 5 minutes and pentiment has happened 20 times. I
didn't do the Barbarossa campaign. You want to grab these. This essentially kind of breaks down into like a little bit of a capture the flag kind of deal. And it's tricky because monks move exceedingly slow.
Yes. So much so that like several of their upgrades are to increase their speed and HP. So they can get places unhurt and get there in a reasonable amount of time.
Yes. Yeah.
These are the basic building blocks. There's so much fucking more. If this is interesting to you, go deep on it. Please. I think this is a fun, good video game. I think it's, it's fun to stretch for me, but we cannot be exhaustive about this.
Nope.
The single player campaigns in this are really fun. In one respect, because they're so generous, there's so much content here. This is a game for dads to retire to.
Yep.
The other thing is they emulate history with a big caveat there. And that is one of my favorite ways something could be educational.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not for just for sicko reasons. Like, yes, it'd probably be better if they were accurate.
Uh-huh.
But I don't, like when I went into this, I knew Attila the Hun. I was like, oh, it's that barbarian guy who played a major role in the fall of the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I know now, having played the campaign, except I also know that he died on his wedding night from like his 10th wife from having sex and getting a nosebleed and dying from it. Everything else I learned from that, I looked into, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies, a lot of substitutions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned the important part to me was the dude ate the pussy so good that he got a nosebleed and died. And like, that's like literally all I wanted.
Yep,
like,
no,
I don't know. I don't need to know all this shit. I'm not fucking Dan Harmon or whatever. I'm not a hardcore history man. Dan
Carlin.
Oh, I was thinking of a different hardcore history.
Yeah, it's history-esque. We're not in Broderbund territory, although sometimes it can feel like that. We are in Uncharted Waters 2 territory.
Yes. Again, my favorite territory.
Yes.
Fuck facts. I don't need this history. Getting this children's book version of these stories is great.
Yeah.
And the campaigns are really interesting. Each one has 6, and they do a lot of interesting things with mechanics, drawing out the different civilizations' capabilities, putting you in different situations. They are a huge mixed bag.
Yes.
Both in terms of difficulty and what kinds of missions you're going to do. We could not begin to do, all of them. So as we mentioned, we each did 2, which is a significant amount of play on top of the tutorial. One of the reasons why I didn't do more of these, and you can call me a fake gamer if you want, is they're all on a standard difficulty level, and they're fucking hard.
They are very, very hard, and the situations are incredibly lengthy as well.
Yes, these take a long time. Each one each episode is hours. It's not each civilization is hours. Each episode of the civilization could be hours on a success.
Yes.
Right. It has that issue where yes, you should be saving as you go. So you create these kind of restore points. At the same time, though, you can lose a lot of progress pretty quickly.
Yes.
Through this, or realize you made the mistake forever ago. Like I fucked up the beginning of my economy. It was not defensive enough or aggressive enough. And I let the enemy monopolize all the gold in the region. And now I'm fucked.
Yes.
I basically have to start this over.
That gold spent, it's gone. Forget it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying this 15 minutes back when my mistake was an hour and 15 minutes ago.
It's also true that even though in the definitive edition, the campaigns are given like little difficulty ratings, from 1 to 3, those are fucking lies.
Well, they're a gestalt for the whole thing. Like I can see them as an average, but there are huge spikes in each one.
They're not designed like video game, like difficulty progressions. It doesn't resemble anything you've ever seen before. No.
And they're trying to teach you things, which is admirable. So sometimes this difficulty comes from just playing a certain way.
Yeah.
Both of the campaigns I did sprung at around the 5th mission, a opponent going for a wonder victory. Against me, which is a mechanic we could talk about. It doesn't come up very often in the main game, but you can build a wonder. It's the absolute top of your tech tree. It just stands there, and if it stands there for a certain amount of time, you win.
Yes.
It is the way you get a non-military victory in this game. I had been playing very defensively and carefully the entire game.
Yes.
You can't do that if the enemy's going for a wonder victory because you're on a fairly short timeline. So these things that maybe don't seem like difficulty spikes, there was really no way to ramp into some of these ideas. Like there are restrictions of the type of game it is that make it resist a traditional video game difficulty curve.
Yeah.
I think. And you have a little bit of that old school, like this is an old PC game from 1999, like Trial by Fire. Just do better at it. And like, I generally don't like that as a philosophy. I came to accept it in this because I was like, I know what I need to do. I just need to break habits.
Yeah.
Like it successfully taught me, but the cost was a lot of hours.
Yeah. It's also the case that in the definitive edition, stuff that was not a huge difficulty wall becomes one, primarily through raising the maximum population cap.
Yes.
Missions in specifically Joan of Arc's campaign, this is what I ran into. And I was like, man, why does this feel fucking impossible? Because I'm dealing with 3 different armies. Well, they raised the maximum population from 75 to 125. That is not just for you, that is for everybody.
Yes.
And
You're
are
doing
starting
the equivalent of 4 different civilizations worth of
yes.
units then.
Yeah. And you are starting from nothing, whereas they are starting further along. And there's just very little way to actually like break a plane and get up to anything approaching parity with it. Yeah.
It's worth admitting here as well. On the last missions of a couple of these, I cheated.
Yes.
There are cheats in this game. I don't feel that bad about it. The cheating in this game is a blast.
Yeah.
You can summon a car, setting yourself up with unlimited resources and just plopping castles down in the middle of your enemy's base is really fun. It is a fun game to cheat in. That's a simple card, but it's not going to last for very long. I also, in skirmishes, I got better, as I played, and actually developed skills. I didn't entirely take the shortcut, cheat myself and the game. But I did cheat myself in the game a little bit and it felt great.
So they're in there. It's part of the game,
Yeah. It's not, if you're not doing it against somebody, it's fine. But yeah, just some of those things get so fucking tough.
Yeah. We're just to talk about aesthetics on a game this old, and also where it kind of doesn't matter, but we might as well. I wish that buildings and units were a little bit more differentiated from each other.
Yeah, I can see that. They're actually better in this version than they were in the original version, where there was less differentiation between different civilization units. There is an aesthetic. This is doubly hard, for me. I can't see colors, so some of these color things on these little tiny guys are differences. Seeing a plumed archer versus a feathered archer at any kind of distance was very difficult. For me, I would like that too. Part of it is also the realistic tone. At 50 paces, I can tell a Gorgon from a Tartan soldier in a way that I can't necessarily tell a cataphract from a Tartan soldier.
Right.
But yeah, that's just kind of the historical fictionness of it.
Yeah. Soundtrack's great.
I love the soundtrack.
It's really good. I love the way they bring in different motifs depending on which civilization you're playing as. Yeah.
And which age you're in. You get that. You get a little bit of that SimCity stuff. One thing I really like from it is it does not feel like, and you can correct me if this is something that just disappeared in the background for me. It feels like the music is not necessarily dynamic. So you would expect this to be a thing like once fights start, you immediately go into a fight theme. I don't think that happens here because we're taking the long view. Not every one of these fights is going to be, if so, I just didn't notice I was too invested, but it felt like the music had more continuity to it, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. I don't remember there being, but battle theme variation on this particular thing. It's just kind of a similar, like placid with a really good bass line to most of it. Yeah.
It's very relaxing. Like it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah. The writing is weird.
It feels, so much of the stuff feels like borderline problematic in ways, not just so I did one of the ones I did was the Montezuma, the Aztec campaign in this, and that uses some things that like ethno historians now believe are apocryphal.
What made me shy away from doing that, because I was really interested in trying out the Montezuma one, but in the little description it says, are they gods? Are they enemies? Just like
So that is a not unaccepted
like
historical thing, but it's not universally accepted. There's a lot of well-researched skepticism around that. And like generally the truth that people landed on is that was probably a legend that became true largely because it was comfortable for both sides to believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Of the war and stuff. But then they have to make a guy, make a character. I've got him written down somewhere in my notes. I don't have it right here, who has to speak, and he speaks with the accent, and he speaks in a kind of, a patois, like this, a syntax that is suggestive of this writer's understanding of how somebody in the Aztec Empire might speak. And it just, I'm glad that they did, and I didn't have to. I don't know what potholes they may have stepped in.
So
with
this is something that actually changed between the definitive edition, or between the original and maybe the HD one or the definitive edition. A lot of the situations, like the slideshows that you get, the narration was re-recorded, because my understanding of the original is it was basically Punch Out.
Yeah. I would believe it. And I didn't want it to be Punch Out. This feels like it's trying to be respectful, but I would need I would need to talk to an Aztec and see if they think it's respectful.
Right.
Yeah. There's a fun to it. Like I can go in with it and just be like, oh, this is kind of fun. I'm not learning.
No, I'm not learning at all. I love the framing on it too, because like so much of it is it's the VR history lesson that Lisa envisions.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. I'm Genghis Khan. You'll come with me. You'll see what I see. You'll eat who I eat. It's just like it is somebody saying, I am historical figure. You may be wondering why X is happening. Well, let me tell you the tale.
They vary really wildly in that. Like that is true, but then there's a bunch of them that are like the one, the Attila Hun one has like a twist at the end, and it's a historical. The idea like vaguely historical based on real battles, but the framing story has a twist. Like these vary in quality greatly. There's a Dracula campaign, and I'm like, yes, Dracula, and then I read, and it was like, no, this is really basic. There's not very many interesting story things that happen. It's not very good, so I didn't do that one. Because of that. But so within these, there's not only a difference in what types of story being told, but a wide gulf of quality as well.
The two that I did were basically just like adaptations of fictional accounts. Actually, all three as well, because the William Wallace one is just Braveheart.
Very much Braveheart.
But like for Joan of Arc, it's like it's pulling from Mark Twain's book about Joan of Arc, mostly. And for Alcide, which is the other campaign that I did, it's just taking the story from the movie.
Yep. I believe it. That's probably adequate for the audience.
Yes.
And there's a discussion to be had. What responsibility a game that is using this wide of a swath of cultures and histories has to be accurate, and what the politics of this game should be. Down, I think there's a discussion there, right? Like it's a thing where I don't necessarily think that I'm not saying that, it would suck if they were just like, these are the elephant fuckers of New Goodland, and like, here are the donkey suckers of like, I don't want it to be like that, like their unit, something blatantly offensive, but I also don't know where that line lies.
I don't know.
It's hard to get mad at it. This 1999 grognard ass RTS game. It's hard for me to take it to court for not being woke enough. And I don't know what that would mean.
I can't get mad at it. I don't have standing to really say anything. All I can do is laugh at it. There's some things. There's some things where you look at it and it's like, like people from the actual countries take real exception to like, oh no, this isn't like this.
And
this
I
is
would 100%. Like in those examples, I'm like, yes, that sucks.
And also there's some where it's like, why does China not have gunpowder units? Excuse me,
Well, and that's the thing is they put themselves in this situation. They're balancing it like a fighting game. Like they don't have gunpowder units because they can't. Or which civilizations get the written language technology, or the paper money technology, like all these things that were, not universal, but, many civilizations can lay claim to, for balance reasons. They're doing Smash Brothers for this. And that I keep comparing it to fighting games. That's an ongoing concern. This is being patched to this day. This has, 2,000 active players at the second, which isn't tons, but this is a game that people play, right?
Yes.
There are tournaments, all of that jazz. So like all these little balances are happening all the time. And I don't envy the idea of trying to be respectful to a culture while having to nerf them.
It's
how do you respectfully nerf a people?
and it gets down to this, cultural tier list thing.
Yes,
as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It puts us in a very uncomfortable position for 24 that I'm enough of a sicko to admit that I just giggled about like the whole time and never had real feelings about.
Right.
You know, I cannot bring myself to be mad at this. I cannot bring myself to put on armor and charge against something like this. You know, this fully clears my "who cares, pick up a football" line that my gut says. Not telling that specifically to people who are like, no, you know, the Portuguese actually had this technology at the time. That is useful information. I'm not mad at Age of Empires 2 about it.
Yeah. And it's also a little bit of what makes Age of Mythology a little bit easier
Safer.
For me. Yeah.
Same. Well, it just if I knew about Age of Mythology, which I really didn't, what it was exactly, I think I got it confused with Lords of Magic.
Yeah, or
Age
like
of
there was
Wonders.
Titan Quest. Yeah, Age of Wonders is more of a 4X, and Titan Quest came out around the same time. Diablo. Yeah.
I get them confused. Age of Mythology would have been more up my alley than this. And like I said, I bought it immediately after this. It's on my computer to start poking at.
Yeah. Let's talk about development. Ensemble released the first Age of Empires game in 1997. This was set around like ancient civilizations, and it was successful. Microsoft got them under a contract to make a sequel, and they started on this pretty much right away. They decided to move on and say like, all right, well now we're doing our medieval game, right? Going roughly from like the 1000s, 700s ish, up to like the very beginnings of the Renaissance.
Yes.
Yeah.
The development was slowed down. You know, they had to make a whole new engine for this. So they worked on an expansion pack, The Rise of Rome, to buy themselves some time in the market. And this is, they had some innovations, some reasons why this broke through. One of the things in this game, Age of Empires, that's different than a lot of RTS games is the AI doesn't cheat.
Yep.
You know, this has made, you know, garnered criticism. Of course, like people said the original game saying it was too easy, but the AI doesn't like spawn a bunch of units out of nowhere. It's following the same rules that you're following,
which is appreciated. I do not think that an AI cheating in a game is disqualifying. Right? There's artifice and everything, but like them choosing to stand on this hill and then develop around it is really admirable. I think. Yeah.
Like I'm not going to get mad about boomeranging in Mario Kart, but I also, if somebody's like, we're not going to do that, I'm not going to. You know, that's good.
Yeah. So they had to find other ways to make the game tougher, right? To make it more engaging, something more, more to chew on. And there's just all kinds of stuff that they did with making the AI work in tandem with the levels and the scenarios by like using scripting and this event system that played with the map to, you know, just make it just a little bit more wily.
Yeah. The other big innovation that they came up with, it was 3D terrain. And topography, you know, we mentioned those hill bonuses and stuff. That adds, you know, anything you can do to add a third dimension to combat is good.
Yes.
This game, it's hard to overstate how big this game is. Incredibly popular, very, very important. Got huge, you know, rave reviews, sold like crazy. Is an ongoing franchise to this day.
Yes, not an ongoing franchise, like this game, like Age of Empires 3. Fuck it, it barely even exists.
Age of Empires 4 is also. It's real weird which ones. Yeah, 4 is the other one that people.
I thought
there's multiple. Yeah, there's. I think it goes beyond that as well. And 4 is the other one that people will go to bat for and still play. Is my understanding.
Okay, yeah, there is an Age of Empires 4. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the other one people like.
Yeah. But just it is just really interesting how it's like, yep, this one particular 25-year-old game, this upon this rock I shall build my empire.
Yeah. I mean, it's got really fun. It's really complicated and solid. It's got chess-like qualities. Like it has this basic, and because they can constantly evolve it, you know, with this competitive scene, because it has that Smash Brothers meta element to it, it has the staying power with it. You know, it's neat to see.
Yeah. There was an expansion that came out in 2000, The Conquerors, adding 5 more campaigns, some more civilizations to it. This is considered to be a little bit of a letdown because of how rushed it was. They basically had no time and no budget to do it. The campaign that I played from The Conquerors was pretty good, I think. But yeah.
Those might have been updated and fixed.
Yes.
In the edition we played. Ensemble made Age of Mythology as well, which we talked about, Age of Empires 3 and Age of Empires 4. They eventually created Halo Wars. I didn't know these were the same people who did Halo Wars.
Yes.
The RTS and the Halo universe, which I've never played.
Age of Empires 4 is actually Relic. Is who
gotcha.
did that? That was a different team.
Gotcha.
Ensemble had closed down in 2009. Basically, they shipped Halo Wars and then just collapsed.
So having accomplished all of our goals in our first term, we seek not to run for a second. Yeah. So this has stuck around as this forever game for RTS fans and dads.
Yes.
This is a dad ass fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
And it has gotten nonstop constant content and re-releases in the way that old games like this generally don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's the HD edition that came in 2012. Steam Workshop support and some new expansions, which we could have done, but then they re-released it in 2019, developed by a studio called Forgotten Empires, which is the version we play, the definitive edition, which has almost all the content and new expansions coming out quite a bit.
Yeah, the most recent one came out in October of 2023, the Mountain Royals.
Yes.
What's cool about the definitive edition and Forgotten Empire specifically is a lot of it's fan made content.
Yeah,
yeah,
got brought into the fold. Forgotten Empires were cut content. I want to say the civilizations that were cut.
Yes,
and then they also brought in the old civilizations from Age of Empires 1.
Oh, well.
As well, and the Roman expansion. The Return to Rome came back at some point.
I love the idea of like, okay, we're bringing AOE 1 civilizations into AOE 2, so the Babylonians have trebuchets now.
I don't know how it works. They might limit their ages,
maybe
and stuff. I didn't pay extra money for this. I just bought the base game that comes with. I cannot stress this enough, an embarrassing amount of fucking content.
Hundreds of hours even before you get into running skirmishes or playing online.
Yep.
Yeah.
And skirmishes are super fucking fun.
Yeah.
So like that is how I spent the majority of my time even doing this. So generous. That's going to be about it for our generalities, I think, before we start getting into the campaigns here. If you're hearing this, we appreciate you. But if you want to hear the rest of it, if you want to hear the whole episode, join us on Patreon.
Yeah. For $5 a month, you get all of our premium episodes.
Yes.
And it's been a while since I counted, but we've got to be coming up on like 80 of them now, something like that. Yeah.
It's a big number.
Mm-hmm. A lot for $5, I would say. In addition to whole bonus shows, Real Lich Hours, our podcast about Baldur's Gate 3, all existing episodes of Bonfireside Chat. It's good. Go check it out.
Yeah, we like to think it's a good value, and we appreciate everyone who's done so. We also appreciate it if you want to leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict. We appreciate it if you are non-demographically identical to us and you have a project you'd like us to shout out, you can send me an email at Gary@Duckfeed.tv. We'd be happy to shout it out. And we or go ahead. Sorry.
On the email tip, it is too late to write in about Age of Empires 2 because time. But you can write in about March's games, which are Teardown Part 2. The Room, the Room Escape games for iOS, the first one specifically. But we'll talk about the series as well.
Yes.
And then our premium episode for that month is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yes, that specific Spider-Man.
Yes.
And big thanks to Gwen, our producer.
Thank you,
who
Gwen.
edited this episode. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see you next week with the Dispatch.